This piece is entitled Food for Thought, Word, and Deed. I have an odd sense of memory. In some places it's smooth and unremarkable, yet in others it's jagged and dangerous in ways I don't see until I've run my fingers over it, accidentally drawing blood. Then, when I bleed, I reflexively lick my wound, tasting the memory that lives in my body's wine. One of my sharpest memories from childhood is of being on a playground. I'm crouched on an elevated stand, perched high atop a metal slide, and from my vantage point I can see the entire playground without being seen. I look down, and on the merry-go-round a few yards from where the slide ends is a group of 3 kids. They're complaining because they don't have anyone to make the ride spin. I hear this, and a plan takes shape. Before I even know what I'm doing, I'm off. I shoot down the slide, hitting the ground with my feet on fire, and when I get to the merry-go-round, I push it furiously. Hearing the children shriek with delight, I reach Mach 1. Letting go of the bar I've been clutching, I whip back up the slide and collapse into a pile behind the walls of the elevated stand, my chest heaving as I hear my playmates' laughter. And as their joy subsides, mine begins. I feed myself. I've waited tables for many years, and one Saturday night around the time of Hurricane Katrina, I was working in a fine dining restaurant serving a couple of men who seemed a little out of place. In an attempt to figure out what they might like to eat, I asked where they were from. One of them ignored the question, while the other one's eyes darkened. Finally he said, "America," his voice flat and tired. Later I asked him again. This time I heard an audible drawl that chilled me. I knew he was from New Orleans, his voice haunted by Katrina's ghost. When it came time for him to pay his bill, I'd arranged for the restaurant to buy his meal. When I told him, he went to tip me. I asked him to give the money to someone back in New Orleans who really needed it. With a tear in his eye, he took my hand between his and told me he knew exactly who he would give it to. He thanked me profusely and was gone. I feed the people. When I was living in Chicago, I was in a hit play in which I portrayed an immigrant who came to this country and achieved the American dream. The character worked in a video store, and in one of his monologues, there was a line where I uttered the words, "Be kind, rewind," which brought the house down. After that show, though, I went through a long drought acting-wise, so I took another job waiting tables. One day, after I'd just gotten off of work and was waiting to catch a bus, a freezing rain began to pelt me. And though I had an umbrella, the rain fell with such intensity that using it seemed futile. Besides, I was so miserable that it only seemed right that I stand in the rain getting lashed. Just then, a woman approached me and asked, "Are you Michael Races?" I didn't recognize her, and the question only made me feel worse. I wanted to say no, to deny being me. Instead, I just nodded my head. Her eyes lit up, and she said, "Be kind, rewind." She proceeded to tell me how much she loved the play and how it touched her. Then she squeezed my hand and told me I was destined for great things. The people feed me. We all hunger. We all yearn. It could be for the desire to feed others or the need to be fed, and perhaps all that's important is that we honor both forces in our thoughts, words, and even the smallest of deeds, because it doesn't take a lot to fill us up. Bon appetit.